All right, I'll go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Nam Nguyen. I'm the Graduate Student Services Coordinator for the college. I know I've worked with, if not all of you, during your admissions process through the program and also during some of the components of your milestones, but I'm really excited to be touching base with you as you are hitting the finish line in the next couple of weeks. So I'm really, really happy to work with you at the beginning and the end of this journey. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, if that's all right. Can you all see that? Thumbs up? Okay, perfect. Okay, so the reason why we're here tonight is, again, you are all finishing up your thesis project. And although there are the bulk of the work that's in your hands that you're finishing up right now, there are some minor things that need to occur in tandem. So we wanted to ensure that you had all this information as you are finishing up your timeline and that you can build it in. So tonight we're going to be talking about the ETD process and ScholarWorks. And I apologize, my dog gets excited about ETD and ScholarWorks and wants to tell you as well. We're going to be talking about ADA formatting. We're going to be talking about the forms, and we're also going to be talking about the fee. So just quick admin note, we will be sending you the slides for tonight as well as a link to the recording of this session, and I'll also be sending you a checklist of to-do items. So don't feel the need to have to feverishly take notes or anything like that. So I'll be sending all that with you. All right, so the electronic thesis dissertation process. The university requires, well, not just the university, but the CSU requires all master's and doctoral students to complete a culminating experience, as you know. That can change from program to program and student to student. And that finished product, whatever it is that you're doing, a thesis or project, needs to be not only collected by the university, but also ensure that your committee members have approved of it. So this process is called the ETD process. The university library oversees it, and our specific librarian is Dr. Carmen Mitchell, who's a scholarly communication librarian who can do also some troubleshooting if you have any questions about it. For the fall 2021 semester, the deadline to get all this ETD done is by December 9th at noon. So December 9th at noon, you'll hear me say that a lot through this process. It's a Thursday. As I mentioned before, ScholarWorks. So what ScholarWorks is a system-wide repository that stores all theses, dissertations, and project papers for the entire CSU system. It's where your work will be housed. It's also where faculty and staff who publish articles submit to ScholarWorks. So the end deadline for the December 9th mark is for you to submit your work to ScholarWorks. Again, December 9th. In addition to that, you need to ensure that your thesis or your project paper has a signature page so it verifies that your committee have approved of your work, and your documents must be ADA formatted. Now, ADA formatting, it's different than APA formatting. ADA formatting ensures that your document, once it's uploaded to ScholarWorks, is accessible for folks who might need some assistance visually. So what's really neat about this is a few years ago, the library began offering a service that they will format your documents for you. So all you need to do is send your thesis or your project paper to thesisada@csusm.edu by November 15th. So that deadline's coming up. But if you send it to them by November 15th, they'll take that document, they'll format it for you, and then they'll email it back to you. Now, I know some of you are still in the writing process, which is totally fine. So that means that you can go ahead and even send a draft of what you have. So whatever you have by November 15th, go ahead and send that to them. They can format it, send it back to you, and then you can continue writing or inserting your tables or your charts into the document. It's not mandatory, but I do encourage you all to utilize the service, especially if you have a lot of charts in your thesis or your project paper. Now, this again isn't required, but after you have successfully defended your thesis or project, You'll get your signature page. You're going to merge it as a top cover. You can even send that document back over to the library just to make sure everything is still ADA formatted and nothing has shifted since you made any edits. Again, that's not mandatory, but it's something that it's offered, so I definitely recommend it. The process can take some time, so I do recommend that you plan accordingly. My understanding from Amy over at the library is if you submit your document, right now they're running about 2 to 3 day turnaround time. So just keep in mind that if you are defending on December 1st or 2nd and you want that final formatting, send it off right away, because you do want to make sure you have the final version in your hand so that you can go ahead, well, electronic version in your hand so that you can upload it by the 9th. As I mentioned, there's going to be some forms that go along with this process. These forms will be electronically signed. So there's going to be no wet signatures, and my team will be managing this process for you. On the to-do sheet that I'll be sending you tonight, we'll ask that you submit a quick online form that gives us information so we know what information to populate these forms with. So it's going to be things like, you know, your program, the exact title of your thesis or your project, your chair, your second committee member, because I know sometimes that changes. So you're going to need to go ahead and submit that to us so we can populate your forms. The 2 forms that are going to be required are your signature page and your certification form. So the signature page is signed off by, at minimum, your committee chair and your second committee member. I don't know if many of you have a third reader, but if you do, that they can also go ahead and sign off. What's going to happen is after you defend, and I'll get that defense date because you have filled out that online form, the day of your defense, I'll be sending off these Adobe Sign signatures. I'm sorry, is Cleo in the radio? Pardon me, let me make sure everybody's here.
Sorry, thank you.
No worries. Thank you. All right. Welcome, Cleo, if you're in here. So after your defense, that's when the request for your the signatures will go out. So for example, if I have defended if I defend tomorrow and everything's good to go, all my committee members will get electronic requests to sign off. So your signature page, again, will be signed off on by your chair, your second committee member. And then once that's completed, you'll get a copy of that. You do need to take that PDF copy and merge it as the top sheet of your document when you upload it to ScholarWorks. You do not need to sign off on your signature page. It's just your committee. The certification form. So this document's somewhat special. It is a form letting the library know that one, again, your committee has approved or your faculty member has approved, but it also tells something else. It lets us know if, one, you are allowing open access to your thesis or your project, or two, if you have requested to embargo it. And let me give you an example. For the majority of you, you'll allow open access, meaning if someone were to go into ScholarWorks and they typed in non-win, anything that I have submitted to ScholarWorks will immediately pop up. Some of you may be working on a thesis or a project that you don't want to be readily available, because it's a data set that hasn't been fully, that's still in progress. Maybe you are currently working with a faculty member on presenting later on. Maybe you're working with another faculty member to publish an article later on that you don't want it to be available right away. So then you're going to be requesting the second option, which is to embargo it. You can embargo up to 3 years. So it's either 1 or 3 years that you embargo. But again, for the most of you, for the majority of you, you'll be having open access to your document. If you have any questions on if you should allow open access or embargo, just ask your chair and they will be able to direct you on that. Now, the certification form is something that you have to sign off on first before it can be routed to your chair to sign off. So after you defend, again, I'll be sending out these Adobe Sign requests. Just keep an eye out, sign it off right away, just get it out of your inbox so it then can be routed to your chair. Your chair will sign off, and then the program coordinator for your program will sign off. And then once that's complete, I will take the certification form and I will submit that to the library on your behalf. So all you need to do with the certification form is to sign up. That's it. You don't need to submit it, just sign it, and I'll take care of it for you. We do have, through this process, there is a fee. It's $25. We suggest that you pay for it online. And again, the to-do checklist that I'll be sending you afterwards will have a link to this. You can go ahead and pay for it online. Once you make that payment, please send me a copy of that receipt, and I will go ahead and submit the receipt with your certification form to the library. Okay. I don't know if any of you are working in groups for projects. Anybody? If you are working in a group, just FYI, everybody, even if you're working in a group, everybody still needs to pay the fee and everybody still needs to do the form. But the submission only needs to go up once to ScholarWorks. So just a brief to-do recap. Today, I'm going to ask that you submit the information so I know what needs to be populated on your 2 forms. We're going to request, well, we're going to highly suggest, it's not mandatory, but we're going to highly suggest that you email your thesis or your project paper to the library. Let me update this. It says, excuse me, it says April 26th, but it should say December 9th. You're going to want to email it to the library by December 9th. November 15th, so that they can go ahead and format it for you. You're going to want to pay the online ETD fee. And then after you defend, you're going to go ahead and e-sign your certification form. You're going to take that signature page, merge it as a top sheet cover, and then you're going to upload your final document to the library by December 9th. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing so we can take some questions. Any questions?
Can you just go ahead and pay the fee right now so that you don't have to worry about it? Or should you wait until like later on?
I actually would absolutely recommend that you pay the fee right away. Over the next couple of weeks, things are going to get a little hectic for you all. And oftentimes the fee is the last thing that you're thinking of. So I'm going to share my screen again. See here. Do y'all see this? This is the checklist that I'll be sending you. So it has an action item as well as a due date. The first action item is just to review the ETD process. The second action item is to submit to me the information that you need populated in your forms. The next thing is to pay your fee. We did a suggested deadline of November 15th, but we really recommend that you just go ahead and pay it as soon as possible and just send me the fee. Make your file accessible, you're going to defend, and then you're going to upload to ScholarWorks by no later than December 9th. I know for every program and every student, it could be a different defense date, but I think mostly for special ed, are you all defending on the same day? Yes, okay. I'm not sure if MME is defending on separate days, but if you don't know your defense date, just ask your chair and they'll be able to let you know. I know I wasn't that on the ball with getting that information out. Are you sure there's no other questions that you might have? I know it was a lot of information, but again, I will be sending all this, all the documents to you. And in addition to that, I will be checking in on a weekly, bi-weekly basis just to make sure that you all are getting your documents in. So don't worry, I'll be monitoring it for you. Erica, did you have a question?
Yes, hi. My question has to do with the signature page that we have to, or that we have to sign the day of and put it on top of our project.
Yeah, so again, both documents, you won't be using a wet signature. We'll be using Adobe Sign to sign off on these documents. The day of your defenses, I'll be pushing out these requests to your committee as well as yourself. So once your committee has signed off on your signature page, you'll get a copy of it, and then you'll take that and merge it as a top sheet for your thesis or your project.
How do we do that?
Well, there's two ways. You can, if you have Adobe Acrobat, you can just open it and then insert it. There's like if you right click, use pages, and then you insert. Or what's even better is you can just take your final thesis or your project, take that signature page, send it to the library, and they'll merge it for you, and they'll just make sure that it is ADA formatted. Meaning the page is ADA formatted as well.
Thanks.
Yeah. So it looks like for special ed, you all are defending on the 2nd. That's exciting. So that gives you about a week to take care of all these final things and then upload to ScholarWorks. Any other questions? Okay, no biggie. If anything comes up, please don't hesitate to contact me, let me know. And if you have any type of tech issues with signing Adobe Sign, I'll even give you like some tips on my email that I send out as well. But if anything pops up, don't hesitate to shoot me a message. We can either Zoom or we could just do, chat over email as well. Okay. All right. I know the next couple of weeks are a lot, but you are almost there at the finish line. We're all super proud of you and super pumped. And I hope you all have a good rest of the semester and have a great evening, and we'll be in touch. Okay. Bye, everybody.